That when I separated from my beloved family and also my husband, and it's very hard for me.
This week actually marks 1 year already since the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan. Since then, thousands of refugees fled the Taliban, starting a new life in a new country. Now there's a push to make sure they can stay here. Channel 3 New Haven Bureau Chief Matt McFarland has more on this. He's joining us live tonight from New Haven. Matt.
Hi there, Mark. Well, roughly 1,000 Afghan refugees have resettled here in Connecticut in the past 10 months, many of them being helped by the folks here at IRIS, that's the Integrated Refugee and Immigrant Services. But because of their temporary humanitarian status, they can only stay here for a few years. And, well, you know, the fear is that if they had to go back, their lives would be at risk.
We don't know what will happen to our future. Will we sent back to Afghanistan or will we be here?
For Marwa and these other Afghan refugees who've resettled in Connecticut, this past year of worrying about their homeland and the loved ones left behind has been painful.
My siblings, my mother and father, and also my sister whose husband was working with the American people, they are still in Afghanistan and their life is so in danger.
An English teacher in Afghanistan, she was able to flee as U.S. troops moved out and the Taliban took over. But her husband and family are still there. She's part of the roughly 80,000 Afghan refugees and asylum seekers who've resettled in the U.S. in the last year. But their humanitarian legal status is only temporary. That's why Senator Richard Blumenthal, along with a group of Democrat and Republican senators, are sponsoring a bill that would allow those currently here to stay.
The Afghan Adjustment Act will give them a path to permanent legal status. In other words, green cards, so that they can live here in a safe haven.
Advocates say the bill would give refugees not only a certainty, but also safety. Adding a gathering like this in Afghanistan simply wouldn't be possible with the Taliban in charge.
They would push through the journalists, smash your cameras, fire in the air, and arrest these women if we were doing this in Kabul now.
For Marwa, she thinks about her family all the time, wondering when they'll be back in her life.
They are hiding every day. They cannot live like a human. They don't have rights.
Hoping she can stay here and that one day they'll be able to join her.
I raised my voice for my family, for my every Afghan sister and brother. If we don't raise up our voice, so who will?
And just to put this in a historical context, the advocates, along with Senator Blumenthal, say adjustment acts are not new. They say the U.S. did this for refugees and asylum seekers following the Vietnam War and also the conflict in Iraq. We're live with the mobile newsroom in New Haven. Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.